Hello, guys, and welcome to the Conspiracy Theory Iceberg Part 1 of Tier 1. And this one, is going to be a kind of short one because, a lot of people already know about these, so I'm not going to go into the history and everything of at least these one on Tier 1 and maybe Tier 2. But, I do have some of them here for you, and hopefully you like it. And I do hope to continue more of these until we get down to the very bottom, and I hope soon, or not soon, but someday we will finish this iceberg. So before we get into it, I just want to say that the way I'm going to do this is I'm probably going to have text like right here, and then I'm going to have a picture somewhere right here. And I know what you're thinking, that Wendigoon did this, and he is my main inspiration for this. So I'm gonna do it kind of like he did it, because I think that's the best way you can do one of these icebergs when you're showing your face and stuff. I just want to say that I'm not trying to copy Wendigoon. I'm just taking a whole bunch of inspiration from him and trying to make my own. That's why I didn't pick the same iceberg he did. So I'm gonna do it in the same style that he did it, but I have nothing but respect for Wendigoon and his channel. So yeah, let's hop right into this. But before we do, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell. So first one we have is Big Pharma. So basically what Big Pharma is the theory that pharmacies and doctors and people that make medicine are all in this conspiracy, that they have cures to certain diseases like cancer. They're just not doing it, because what would be the point of curing someone when, like, you can keep treating them for years and years and keep getting money at that? That's basically what the theory says. And yes, I don't know if I believe this one, but yeah, that's just basically what that theory says. And I think a lot of the stuff that has to go on with this is that they seem to never make progress in these diseases, like curing these diseases. So I don't know, you can research that one yourself, but that's all I got for that one. GMOs, or genetically modified organisms or crops, is the idea that certain companies like Monsanto will purposely put harmful chemicals and things such as in crops and stuff when they give it out to people to try to make people sick. And this all ties back into Big Pharma, because if people get sick, they go to the doctor, they pay money. It's all one big circle. So that one ties back into that one. But yeah, just farming companies would do this because it's all a huge conspiracy. So climate denial is exactly what it sounds like. It is the idea that certain people will deny climate change or global warming, and the theory says that these people are in on something that the basic human generation isn't. People that are not higher ups and elites are not in on. That's all I really have for this one. CERN, or CERN, is the theory that the Large Hadron Collider is the largest machine to use smash subatomic particles together, and the theory says that one day they're going to do this and it's going to be the end of the world. It hasn't happened yet, but they could make machines that are much bigger than this to make it seem that way. So yeah. The Mandela effect is basically, I think a lot of people know this one, the cross in universes like the Monopoly Man and his molecule, or Looney Tunes and stuff like that, of how it's spelled. And a lot of people I think know this, but I included it anyway just for the people that didn't know. But basically this is saying that sometimes there's another parallel universe, and sometimes it crosses over with us in those certain instances, and it has to do with dimensions and stuff. So very cool. I'd check it out if I were you, but it's very fun and interesting to research. Chemtrails is the idea that when a plane, basically what a chemtrail is whenever you look up and a plane is going through the sky and it leaves that white trail behind it. Basically the theory says that that is not um actually just a trail. It's more like a the theory says that it could be chemical warfare, or it could be a biohazard, or it could be harmful to the human population, and all pilots and stuff are in on it. And that's why it's there at one moment and not at the other when you look back. Um, not a lot through this one, but basically that's just the whole idea of it. HAARP, or HAARP, is a weather control service that is located in Alaska. So basically, this theory says that they control the weather, which I think it has something to do with what the U.S. released back in 1997. Someone will have to correct me on that in the comments, but the theory says that they control the weather, and it's a weather control base, and that's about it. Holocaust denial is exactly what it sounds like. It's the idea, or the fact that some people in governments like Iran and Syria actually support the idea that the Holocaust did not happen. Well, not that it didn't happen, is that people that believe this theory say that there wasn't actually 6 million Jews exterminated, that it was much, much less than that, or how there was no extermination camps, and how they actually didn't kill the Jewish population, they simply deported them into other countries. Um, but I don't know, I don't get how anybody or any country can support that idea when we have pictures and video proof and evidence disproving that theory. But I just included it anyway, because even though it is kind of stupid, I thought that people should know about it. Pizzagate is the theory that there is a worldwide human trafficking ring that involves several politicians or higher up elites in different higher up places. But this theory kind of went down when a man who was, I think, he was paranoid, but he went into a pizza place with a gun because he thought that they were going to try to kidnap his children or even kidnap him. And after that, the theory kind of lost all backing and stuff. But there's another entry on this list that has to do with this, so keep what I just said in the back of your mind for that. Adrenochrome is a organic chemical produced by the oxidation of the adrenal gland in your kidneys. It's on top of your kidneys. Um, Basically, the theory of this is that human elite, higher up elites, and politicians will harvest this from children, because the idea is that if they partake of this and take it and put it in their body, that it'll give them external youth. And this all has to do with the Illuminati and lizard alien government people, and that's basically what that is. That they traffic, harvest this from children to give it. It's kind of like blood drinking, which I'm sure is probably somewhere down on this list. It's kind of similar to that, but now what I did see is that this is not a proven fact that's in your body, that adrenochrome is in your body, but we do have some evidence that proves that it might exist. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out something in the future about this, but for right now, it has not been proven 100% true. Creationism is the idea that all aspects of the universe, like nature, people, everything like that, are divine acts of creation by a higher up. And I think what it means by that is that we're all divine in some way. Everything is divine, and it wasn't just one big creation. You have to look more into that. I couldn't, with my level of understanding, I couldn't understand all these big words and stuff, and I don't know how to simplify it. So, I would go to a trusted website and look more into that if you can understand this stuff more clearly than I can. Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, is exactly what it says. Bill Hicks was a comedian in the 1990s and 80s and 90s, and Alex Jones, which if you're watching this, you probably know who he is. He has a whole bunch of different conspiracy theories. He didn't create this one, but this is about him. And basically, it says that they are the same person, and so yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. White genocide is a theory created by white supremacist groups across America that there's a deliberate plot, mostly blamed on the Jewish religion and Jewish people, that it's a plot to exterminate or kill or deporture all white people from public places, um, and stuff like that. So, I don't know, why someone would think of this, because I think white people is like the biggest race in the world, and there's only like 10 million Jews, I think. So I don't see any backing in this theory at all. Nazi UFOs is the idea that back before and during World War II, that the Nazis were creating these UFOs, and it all ties back into Antarctica, which there are going to be some theories on this later. And Agartha, which is, if you don't know what Agartha is, I'm not going to explain it right now, because it does come up here soon in not maybe not in the next video, but in the next one after that. But basically, what this theory is, that the Nazis were creating these so they could find different places where people could like Hitler could hide, and yeah, and even after that, during the Cold War, there were several sightings of like flying ships with Nazi symbols on it in the sky. I don't think there's any photo evidence of this, but a lot of people said that they saw it. So I'm not really sure about this one, but if you want to do some research on it, you can. Maybe I'll make a video on it later about Nazi UFOs and fully explaining that. But for right now, that's all that I know about it. Here's the one where I told you it ties back into Pizzagate. So Pedogate is basically everything I said about Pizzagate, but you add in the fact that pedophiles like I don't even know if I can say his name, but the dude that had his own island that committed suicide um in prison, people like that were in this, which I'm sure he's somewhere on this list. And I think what I want to do is make a whole video about Epstein and all of like that whole situation, try to simplify it, make a huge like hour, like a 4 or 5 hour long video on that. But basically, everything I said about Pizzagate, you just add in pedophiles and children, and then you have Pedogate. Michelle Obama is trans is the idea that Michelle Obama is a man and not a woman. I'm sure you've seen jokes about this online with the AI presidents and stuff, but I don't really know. I don't even want to look into all that, but yeah, basically it's saying that she is trans and that she's not a real woman. So take what you want from that, I guess. MK Ultra was that the theory, not the theory, but a fact that the CIA did human experiments on people from 1953 to 1973, in which they would give people hardcore drugs, especially LSD, to try to force a confession out of these people during interrogations or stuff like that. And the theory says that it's still going on to this day, and that's all I have for that one. Operation Northwoods um is an operation that the CIA did. It's a false flag um in operation, which means that they so basically the CIA wanted to do acts of terrorism against their own government to blame it on Cuba so they can justify a war with Cuba. This all happened back during the Cold War when the Red Scare was happening in communism, and they really wanted a war with Cuba since they tried to assassinate Fidel Castro numerous times, and they failed at every single attempt. But so basically they just wanted to get the American people, if they saw what Cuba did to their government, then they would want a war. I don't think that they ever were successful with that. But it is something that I would keep in the back of your mind when thinking about the CIA. And the last one for this video is sacred geometry. Wendigoon, I think, will explain it better than I probably will. Basically, it's shapes on religious buildings such as mosques, and temples and churches are like certain shapes are sacred. And I guess what I mean by that is the theory states that there was a god, there is a god or higher up that is the geometry of the universe. It's a really long theory. I didn't understand a lot of it, but if you guys want to go, I'll leave a link in the description on where you can find information on this. But basically, the idea that certain shapes on religious buildings and even in nature can be sacred to some sort of extent. And that is the end of the conspiracy theory iceberg part one of tier one. I know it wasn't the best, but hopefully you guys enjoyed, and you will come back for the next one. I don't really know when the next one will be out, but I promise you guys I am working on it, and I will make uploads in between to keep you guys occupied. Um, but try to look for the next one by the end of this week by this recording. So that's all I got for you guys, and I will see you in the next one.